Queen of the Nights. Any day this evil cat hiss on my window, I usually have a miscarriage that night. My husband is from Ben, my parents refused that I can't marry a man from the Ben community, especially my mother who refused. People from that community feed on blood, they kill, and they are mostly witches and wizards. That's where your mother is from. Thank God that she is born again, and a true Christian. I was pregnant thinking that my parents would allow me to marry him, but no they didn't. I packed my bag to Akoli's house. The next 2 months my mother-in-law came to visit us, and she was surprised to see me in the house. Daniel, who is she? She asked. My wife and the mother of my unborn child. So I would soon be a grandma, my mother-in-law said, as she was very happy to hear that I was pregnant with her unborn child. My phone rang. I was surprised that it was my father calling me for the first time after I left the house. Where are you staying? Send the house location where you are staying to me, my father said. That night, a cat hissed on the window of our house. I tried to chase it out, but it couldn't leave. It was yowl and yowl. It felt like there were 2 cats there. The next morning, I saw blood dropping. I screamed and cried, and my mother-in-law consoled me, urging me to be very prayerful always. One night after my mother-in-law left my house for the village, a cat came screaming. I prayed and prayed not to lose my baby again. The next morning, blood dropped from my woman part, and I was rushed to the hospital. By the will of God, my baby was intact, but I was advised to stay off stress and shock. On getting home at night, I heard the same sound. I recognized it to be the first hiss of the cat. I tried to chase the cat out, but it stood, unable to move. I picked up a gallon of petroleum and lit it on the cat before it disappeared. Your younger is dead, leaving a scar and wound on your mother's skin. My father called on the phone to let me know. Your mother-in-law is the one behind all your predicaments, and she's ready to suck out all your baby's blood tonight. But Pastor, my mother-in-law is a good woman. This message is somehow, and this woman you are talking about is the women leader in the church, I said. I opened the door of my home, surprised to see it open. I went straight to the visitor's room, and shockingly, I saw my mother-in-law dressed in a black robe, holding a cat in her hand, having a fish leg. She turned and looked at me in anger, ready to strike. My mother is an occultic woman, who belonged to an occultic kingdom known as a cat. Why did this native doctor say something like this? I shouldn't have visited him. The pastor claimed that my mother-in-law was the witch that eats my children and prophesied that she would definitely come to eat my child tonight. This is the confirmation of the pastor's prophesy. He is a true pastor, yeah, he is. Queen was awake all night, ready for anything that would happen. Exactly by 1 a.m., I heard a scream. It was never a hiss of a cat. I checked and saw a snake with a baby's head. I looked through and saw a snake with a baby's head. Queen. The creature called my name. The next morning, I found myself in the hospital, opening my eyes to see my husband crying. I lost my baby. It's not new to me, I said in my mind after seeing my husband crying. I didn't bother to ask. My mother-in-law robbed my stomach, and that was when I realized my baby was intact. She offered me some fruits, but I refused to eat them. Honey, why were you crying? Did anyone die? I asked my husband, my mother-in-law eyeing my husband not to tell me anything. The doctor advised me to eat the fruits, that I really need them for my health. I woke up at midnight to see my stomach flat and dry. I couldn't feel my baby. I screamed, but no one came out to find out what was the problem. Could Akoli be in trouble? I said, looking for my husband around the house. Daughter of a cat, someone called me. I looked back. It was my mother-in-law, carrying my pregnancy, holding a knife in her hands. My witch mother-in-law carried my pregnancy/baby on her stomach. When she came close to me, I thought that she wanted to stab me with it. She stabbed my stomach with the baby she was carrying, stabbing it so hard. I felt blood dripping from my body. You think you have a strong mother, who can save you, right? Let's see what she would do now. I screamed and screamed, but my husband was nowhere to be seen. Queen was rushed to the hospital, where she was in a coma for some hours. Akoli trying to call Queen's parents. Do you want them to die of high blood pressure? Oma said, stopping her son. I must have to remove this oxygen for this witch to die, Oma said. Mom, immediately after my wife recovers both of us will be relocating abroad. As Akoli thought that he was dreaming, Oma slept with him, she was able to take out his manhood spiritually. She took it to their occultic kingdom, where she offered it, that he would never impregnate a woman again. No, we don't need his manhood, you should kill and sacrifice your son before dawn. Your children had a fatal accident, come down to, immediately Oma cut the call. Let them bury themselves there, she said rejoicing. Oma's phone rang after some minutes. Hello Mom, it's me your son, we are alive, don't bother coming, we are heading straight to the airport. Oma disappeared and appeared in a secret coven, she cast some spells so that all the cars or planes her child and daughter-in-law would enter, would crash. After some hours she called their lines to find out whether they were dead or alive, but it was switched off. All hail the cats. All hail the queen. Oma greeted laughing. I have not only succeeded in killing my son but also my daughter-in-law, I called their number. Ha. 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 But it was switched off, I hope now, they must have rotten, ha, ha. Ha ha. In the morning, the queen mother appeared in front of Oma. How dare you attempt to kill my daughter? Let nothing happen to her, because I will definitely come for you, Ife the queen mother said. The plane that Queen and Akoli were supposed to enter crashed, Oma was happy to hear such and was scared of what the queen mother, the mother of Queen would do to her. Oma's phone rang. Hello, Mom, we are on our way home, armed robbers held us captive, they killed plenty of people, Queen crying. What about my son, did they kill him too? Oma crying. Answer me immediately. No Ma, he's safe. Someone was knocking on the door very late at night, Akoli opened the door and saw his mother. Welcome mother-in-law, I greeted. But no response. As I was about to leave, she held my hand. I will make sure that you die before I return back. After I prepared dinner, I went straight to my mother-in-law's room to give her food, the whole room was dark, and I couldn't see, I immediately on my phone torch, immediately I screamed, after I saw a long python with the head of my mother-in-law, I left her room immediately. In the morning I called my mother narrating the whole incident to her, on how my mother-in-law is a witch, and threatening to kill me. Mother please find me a strong pastor, I don't think I can deal with this woman anymore, I requested. Don't worry about pastors, I will be coming tomorrow morning to come live with you and your husband, that your mother-in-law must leave the house for me, or we both leave together, Queen's mother said. I'm a witch. Your daughter already knows that I'm a witch, I will make sure she learns that you are a witch. You killed your husband, ate his corpse, and caused your son's death, you have been hiding not telling your daughter about her brother's death. You massacred a lot of children that you gift some items in church, now you are forming to be a good mother, we are all the same, Oma said. If your daughter hears this, she must definitely abandon you, and the leadership will be shifted from your family to another, you are already aware of all this. If my daughter dares hear this, I promise you, you will pray for death, and it won't come. Ife called her child and son-in-law so that dinner was served. Don't eat that food. Why? They asked. Queen, your mother is a witch, she killed your father and your only brother. My brother is dead. Yes, your brother, Emeka, is dead, she ate his corpse raw, where is his corpse? She will never tell you this. Your mother is the queen mother, you will definitely take after her. You must have been experiencing some changes to show you that you are a witch. How do you expect us to believe this rubbish she just vomited? Queen angrily asked. I always knew you would support your mother. But I must prove to you that the food you both are about to eat is poisoned. Oma poisoned the food that her daughter and son-in-law were about to eat, so that Ife, Queen's mother, would be accused of trying to kill them. Siba. She called the dog and gave it the food, but the dog died instantly. Akoli threw both bags out, warning them not to return to his house again. Don't hate me, my daughter, I know I'm a witch, but I did everything I did for your sake. I inherited this from my mother, and I'm battling for you not to be among them. If I fade out, they will definitely come to destroy you. I visited a pastor, the pastor prayed me out by conducting a deliverance for me. After the deliverance, I had an intimate with my husband, and he satisfied me well more than before. The next morning I woke up realizing my eye color changed to a rainbow and looked at my husband, his body turned corpse. My phone rang, and I had to pick it up. Your husband was shot by armed robbers. I'm not sure he might have survived it. I was about to ask for the location, before my phone off. I hurried to charge it, but still, it wasn't booting. That was the first time I awoke and didn't hear the hiss of a cat. I was about to leave the house when I saw my husband opening the door. He was badly wounded, but his wounds were all dressed. I saw my soul leaving my body. I was able to fly. I heard some sounds driving me crazy. I was weak, unable to move or fly. I felt a taste for blood. I began to eat my own flesh without knowing. Honey. 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 Akoli woke his wife up, but she wasn't waking up. Ife forced herself to enter the house after Akoli restricted her not to. Her soul is being caged, she astral projected, and was supposed to return before sunset. You must join the male occultic kingdoms, that's the kings of the nights, to be able to save your wife. They are the ones holding her captive. If you don't join before the next sunset, she must have been consumed completely. Please escort me on this journey, Akoli pleaded. The kings of the night occultic kingdom fought the Queen Mother, they surrounded her, weakening her powers. You must definitely die today, they said. The Queen Mother of the night was very weak. She appeared before her daughter bleeding. What happened to you, Mom? Why are you bleeding? Queen panting. Take this pendant, always wear it. Fulfill this, your mother's last wishes. Don't bother looking for me for now. She disappeared. A year later, I delivered twin babies. My husband wasn't happy. He seemed closer to my mother-in-law, more than he was to me. I was in church for the night, but I had a severe stomach upset, then I left the church. I found my husband pounding one of my twin children. I screamed, and he looked at me, his eyes turned black, and he closed the door using his eyes. He brought out a cutlass. My husband tried to kill me using a cutlass after I saw him pounding one of my babies and about to pound the other baby. He drew close to me, and I screamed. A bright sparkling light shone at him, and I disappeared and appeared in front of a female shaman in a desert. Don't fear, you are safe, she said looking at me. Your mother sacrificed her life, to see that you lived. Your mother-in-law is fighting to be the next queen. If she gets what she wants, she must be really powerful and unstoppable. Destruction would be her main goal. You must stop her. This pendant has in it all your mother's powers. She never wanted the kings of the nights to take it, and that's why she struggled to give it to you, despite breaking the rules of earth and spirits. Who killed her? Queen asked. Your mother-in-law pushed kings of nights to ambush your mother, agreeing to give them a hidden treasure. They ambushed her, killed her. She broke the rules of the spirit and earth, being in the form of a human, taking her powers to you. Because of this, her soul was caged, and she can't move to the deep to have peace. She did it so that you wouldn't be harmed. Give me your pendant, the shaman requested. As Queen gave it to her, the old witch disappeared with it. Immediately Oma appeared in front of Queen, holding a doll and a knife, ready to strike. You must die as your twin children did. The witch made me appear in front of her, and immediately the Queen of the Night tried to kill me. I thought you wanted to kill and steal my powers. No, I wanted to show you the power of the pendant which you are wearing. You can't be killed or seen by your enemies, as you are wearing this pendant. You should be able to transfer all the power in this pendant in you, at the waxing of the moon. If not, you would die together with your husband, the shaman said. But my husband killed my children, Queen said crying. That young man was never your husband, he was sent by your mother-in-law to deceive and kill you. Your mother-in-law is about to sacrifice all her generation during the full moon, trading with Lucifer. After this very sacrifice she would then be the new Queen Mother, controlling all powers and becoming unstoppable. What should I do to stop her? Queen panting and scared. You must join the union, and take your mother's powers, challenging your mother-in-law before the full moon. But how? Queen asked. I will be taking you up to the hill in the dark, where you will practice and learn your powers, only if you agree to this. But, I'm a Christian, I can't be doing this. Righteousness is beneath the heart, not on religion. Your mother's pendant teleported you to me. I'm the 10th generation of the unsoiled hands of the priest and chief priestess. I'm not evil, I'm good. All my generations never soiled their hands, and we all married virgins. No, I can't do this, Queen said. Your husband is nowhere, his spirit slept with you before you received a call from the hospital. Yes, they said he had a terrible accident and he may not survive it then, but he's... Queen muttered. He's never all right, the shaman said. That call was recorded prior before he became intimate with you. Where is he now? Is he really dead? I must belong and join you on this journey, but please answer me. Is my husband dead? Queen asked.